Hi, Misha. We're back out here with the Bulgarian-made Arsenal SAM5. This is the 62, hence the ported brake. Anyway, last time we shot my 2020 and had really no obscene wear. That gun's had over 1,000 rounds there by now. But people have said, well, it's the newer guns, the 2021s. So here we go. We have a 2021 for you. And this is brand new. Pull the condom off. Safety. Straight out of the box. So that works. So let's crack her open, look inside just to show you it hasn't been fired, and then we'll get to, well, firing it. So here we are on the inside. You can see back here. Whoa. Sorry, it's really cold out, guys. I'm trying to feel. You know, it's going to be cut out back here. And this is something people talked about, was this kind of unique U-shaped cut, whereas previous ones had more of a shelf here. And then up front lug area. Outside of factory test firing, that should be it. And here's our bolt group, just to compare. Now last time I was mostly focusing on the tail, because in the past that's where we tended to see wear on guns. So we will check on that later. But also, the back of the bolt. So there's that, you can see it's even.
Got it.
Now this is an AK, guys. You are going to see some wear. The question is, how much? And does it stop at a certain round count, or does it continue? Well, we're gonna find out today, hopefully. First rounds out of the 2021. Now Fox's turn. Quick take, do you think that had more felt recoil than the previous one?
Probably equal. About the same. You can tell it definitely needs to be broke in though.
Yeah, I thought so too. Here we go again. And Fox for a second go.
Now she's starting to break in.
Yep, first 100 rounds. Let's stop it and crack her open again. Alrighty, here's the receiver inside first.
Get in there a little closer. Okay.
And the bolt group. First, the tail, not bad.
Nope.
And now, this.
It's starting to ping down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. A little bit there.
Yep.
At this point, I'd say that's pretty normal for 100-ish rounds.
Right.
But the question is, does it get bigger?
Does it get worse?
Yeah. And what point?
Does it grow? Let's find out. That's a pretty good angle right there. All right.
Alrighty, we'll keep on. Let's go it again. SAM5 again for Fox. We let the SAM5 cool off, but now it's time to go again. Standing on a hill, that would help. And now Fox with the SAM5.
staying in there now.
SAM5. Now it's Fox's turn.
SAM5.
There we go.
That was it.
SAM5 back at it. And Fox's turn again. Well, we're at least 300 rounds, maybe 350 in, and as Fox was commenting, it is starting to physically feel smoother to operate. So let's take another break and look inside. So another break here, and we will say we've had 0 failures, even with the 20 round mag that the internet doesn't like. So here's our back. We can definitely see some peening back here, but
just a little bit. Yeah.
And then up front where the lockup is,
looks honestly just like some normal AK wear.
And I don't think people have been reporting much wrong up there.
No.
So let's look at our bolt grip. Sorry guys, we can't take these apart on here. By the way, the edge of this piston is hot. I just learned that.
Can you brand me?
So here's our tail of the carrier. It's fine. A little bit of flaring, but that's not any worse than at 100 rounds.
Nope.
So the big deal is our bolt.
It looks the same as it did at 30 rounds, really.
100 rounds, yeah.
Or 100 rounds. It's a little flat now. It's done it on both sides, but nothing alarming.
No, there's no real like flaring or I'm running my fingers around it. It's smooth.
You can see the spot there.
Yeah,
though,
I can feel it.
But it's not anything alarming yet.
Nope. Not anything that would keep it from moving. The lugs. That all looks fine. And this is a 2021, and we have been rapid firing it with a mix of Wolf and probably Red Army and
Tula.
Whatever else. So it's had a few different types of ammo in it. But yeah. Nothing in the carrier channel to note. Wait. Donk. That's really hot though. That piston head is hot as hell.
Well.
Yeah, and back here just one more gander and...
Nothing that is scaring us.
No, I mean, I can feel I know it's not gougy. It's dinged, but not beat.
But I mean, would you consider that just kind of normal? I guess the true test is it going to get worse?
Right. I mean, so far, that's not alarming me for a gun that's at least 300, 350 down the pipe, but that's an AK. If it continues or stops, typically AKs stop around this point, 500 rounds, 1,000 rounds. It kind of just depends on the individual gun. But we'll shoot as much as we can through it for the rest of the day and give you a final report. Back at it with the SAM5. You can probably tell by the time of day. Now Foxes go. Well, the rain has stopped, but also the daylight. SAM5 getting towards the end. Fox's last mag to the SAM5.
Breaking in good.
SAM5, now my last mag of the day. And more or less, that should make 500. Alrighty folks, well we ran out of daylight, but we were able to more or less hit 500. We might have gone over 20 rounds or under 20 rounds, but good enough. So for our final check, we'll crack this open and see what she looks like. Alrighty guys, so looking in the back, now that we're...
Maybe too bright. There we go.
I mean, there's definitely wear, but... a little bit of splashing on the side, but for 500 rounds, looking up here,
let me get in there with this light. Nothing major. I'll come back here to this back one more time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the carrier. Again, the tail is fine. A little bit of splashing on the side, but that's normal, guys. Just take my word for that. Nothing in the channel, and then piston's a piston. And as for our bolt, swap for a second, guys. Here we have it, and here's our back. I mean, it's dirty, obviously, and there is that divot here,
but it didn't get worse.
Yeah, so it feels the same. There's no splashing on the side like it's really pushed out metal. It's just there.
It's just that little bit. Man, sorry guys for the lighting. It's really hard to catch that with this camera. Let me see. That might focus right there. It's got a little bit, but it never did get worse than what it was the first, what, 100 rounds probably?
3 at least, yeah, after that. And one thing to remember, this is not the original hammer in here. This is the US part. And I have to wonder if it's how this hammer geometry happens to be hitting, because this is a single hook trigger and a gun really meant for a double hook. So I'm wondering if there's a little bit of imbalance. I'm just totally speculating. Could be talking out of my butt, but
But seems to be the main concern right there. But like you said, I mean, even just never got to be concerning.
Yeah.
Of course, we're gonna put more rounds through it in the future, but so far,
for one day, there's a little bit of splashing here, but I think that's just the rear of the bolt. And see that little
just a little
bit there where that locks in, but there you have it, guys. And here's the bolt in the carrier. Notice it's moving completely smooth, and it comes in and out of the carrier just fine. There's no resistance. Whatever minor wear might be back here is not enough to even remotely jam it. Okay, and then I'll put it. Yeah. And one more thing. Here's the carrier group in the gun. It's moving perfectly smooth, and it comes out no problems. There's no grittiness, resistance, anything. Well, we'll get her back together and have some final thoughts. Alrighty guys, sorry we're not going to mic up. We're tired. It's been a long day, as you've noticed, and thought we'd get Fox here just to give his take, but not a whole lot to report new on the SAM5 since the last video. You saw all the shooting. We had 0 failures at all as far as cycling. So
very reliable. If anything, the more we shot it, the more comfortable I became with the gun and smoother it got. Honestly, it feels a lot better now than it did the first few mags.
Yeah, when these are brand new, you feel a little bit of the grittiness from the park and the paint and just general wearing. This is, yeah, because originally it was smooth up here, but then it got a little bit gritty going over the hammer here, but that's smoothed up.
It feels good. The shooting the gun feels good too.
And the trigger is, there you go. The trigger is fine. I think you like the fine trigger a bit more than I do. I still am a traditionalist. I like the old Bulgarian double hook, but that's fine. It's functional. I've felt a lot worse in my day.
And it did take a little getting used to. It kind of, it's a very light trigger.
Yeah.
I just couldn't quite place how to shoot really fast, and that's just learning it a little bit more. It's a very light trigger, but it has a little bit of a...
It's got a break.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's got a pretty, like a snapping a glass rod. It's not a lot heavy, but it's not real soft where you're just going to accidentally bump fire it. Or
no, not at all. I mean, man, so far this meets the standard of all the arsenals that I've shot and played with.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, guys, this being a newer one, I kind of thought we would start to see the same type of wear that people are, at least been reported. I was fully expecting to go. Yeah, and, even as far as overgassing, although, as you pointed out, when it was brand new, the first 100 rounds, it did feel a little bit thumpier than mine that's had about 1,000 through it or whatever. But by the time we were doing the last couple of hundred...
Oh, it just got better.
It didn't feel...
No.
And we didn't use Tula today. I think you mentioned, but I don't think we did. I think it was mostly just Wolf and Red Army and whatever, guys. It's an AK, just whatever ammo we had. We've been shooting a lot of 223, 5.56 lately. But...
We did use the same mags. I think
the
whole day. We did.
I just grabbed 2 mags, 130, 120, so they worked. Of course, last time we were out, we had 4 different mags, and all 4 of those worked. So 6 different mags we've tried now, and 2 different guns, and unfortunately, it was boringly reliable. I'm sorry, but you saw the wear. It's nothing that concerns me.
No, not at all. I mean, even when we broke down my SAM-7 fold and compared, I mean, I didn't see anything on this that would concern me or make me feel that it's gone the direction of concern.
No. And most people that are reporting the flaring of the bolt tail, it's usually very early on, within 100 rounds, under 500. That's why I was trying to get to 500 today. I'm glad we made it, just barely, but...
Well, and this gun's about to put more rounds through it. Yep. This isn't something we're just calling it quits at 500 rounds. I mean, it's going to get broke out over the next few weeks and do a little update video.
Yeah, and I'll try to scrounge up at least 50 or 100 rounds of slightly hotter 62 grain ammo. It's just we had guys. It's right after the holidays, and we're running a little skinny on ammo, but.
Yeah, we'll do throw a scope mount on here too. I have a scope mount, and we'll do some groupings with it too.
Yeah, it should be nicely broken in. We should. It's not even close to worn out, but it should be settling in, and that's really what seems to be. The gun is just settling in, and this is how AKs work. I don't want to be a broken record, but the machines were designed to wear parts in together.
And not only that, but I haven't actually seen, we've read the complaints about the wear on the inside, but I haven't seen any pictures that
there have been some that people have posted with some.
Okay, but maybe just some people aren't used to really how these things wear in, and there's a lot of new AK owners.
Some, and I do, but to be fair, by this point, Arsenal has said there is a problem. So there does seem like there does seem like there is a bad batch. I've seen people speculate maybe there was a goof at the factory and the fixture drilled 7.62 by 39 gas port sizes instead of 5.56s. But what we've shown here is it's not all 2021 dated guns.
Right.
And just because a gun is dated 1 year, guys, doesn't necessarily mean it was imported that year. That's when that receiver was originally made. And sometimes it can take months to get that receiver even built into a gun and sent over here. So, like, this gun just came from Arsenal at the end of 2022. So, that's nothing abnormal. I remember back when the 106s, the 223s, when they were selling those, even up to like 2016, 2017, sometimes you get a 2009 or even 2008 dated gun. So, it's neither here nor there. There's definitely something, but I do have to wonder how common it is. is it? I don't. I definitely think it's. We can say it's not all guns now, but what percentage? That would be an interesting piece of data to
see what actually out of all the ones that have made it, what percent of them are having this
let's
issue.
say Arsenal says our records show we shipped 5,000.
Right.
And how many come back for replacement?
Right. Here's a question while we're on the topic. How do you feel about the people that are just saying, hey, still buy Arsenal, get the gun, but replace it and put a K&S piston in there? How do you feel about that?
I've never seen a reason to replace a part before you know it's defective.
Yeah, that's...
And I would say that K&S would fix the overgassing problem, or at least band-aid it, but you still have that large gas port. If it were me, instead of putting a K&S, I'd send it back to Arsenal. If you've got a gun that's showing abnormal wear, I wouldn't K&S it, I'd send it back to Arsenal.
Yeah, it just kind of was... That's really the way I looked at it when you see it on the forums of people saying, oh, just buy it, don't just replace that. And it's like, well, how do you know you've even had this issue?
Yeah, and people have said, oh, put an extra power spring in, but other people have countered saying, well, you might be taking stress off the rear of the gun, but you could be putting more stress on the front. And I completely agree.
That's a good way.
That's how physics works. I mean, energy has to go somewhere. So I wouldn't go swapping it until you know there's a problem. And yeah.
Why spend more money if you don't have to? Test the gun, run the gun. It's got a warranty on it,
and just like we did today, monitor it. Check not every mag, but
we do
every 100, then 300
rounds.
I mean, the next time we should check it's probably 1,000. Double the every time I'd say double it.
Yeah.
What's good about this, guys? We're not seeing problems with receivers just outright cracking, and there haven't been any reports, to my knowledge, of headspace falling out. So while there might be issues, they don't seem to be safety oriented, which is very good. Like, we weren't worried about it blowing up. We were worried about it maybe stop working because the bolt got gummed up. But yeah, boringly reliable.
It was fun to shoot. I mean, I'm still new to this 223 AK platform. I've shot them with you over the years, but as far as really putting hundreds of rounds through it, it's still really fun and enjoyable to shoot. So I'm really excited about doing some more.
And a different manufacturer, not to be named here, but there's quite a few companies that have been trying to make 223 AKs, and they run into a problem. It's really hard to gas an AK because you don't have an adjustable gas system as default. Do you tune it to run with full house 62 grain 5.56, or do you tune it to run with Tula 55 grain? It is very difficult on a gun without an adjustable gas system, where it'll eat all types of 223 5.56 available in America because so much is available.
That's true.
And that's a problem that manufacturers are running into. So kind of makes you wonder. And I've often wondered what ammo is common in, like, what's their loading in Bulgaria?
Right. What are they speccing these out to shoot?
Yeah.
What is a common... Wonder about suppressed. Wonder if that would,
I would definitely put more oomph in the system, and that's really when maybe a K&S would become
something that you would
real important.
Right.
Yeah, it's a shame that adjustable gas blocks aren't an option, because that would be the
go-to fix.
The real new deal. Just dial her in, even if it's just like a 2 or 3 position. But we promised we would revisit with a brand new fresh gun, and there we have it. And since we did our last video, Arsenal has officially at least said, look, there's a problem, at least with some guns. If you send one in, we will fix it, replace it, whatever. Again, this is what they're saying. I know their customer service has a reputation. To be fair, this is a reputation they've had for 20 years. This isn't new. I'm not going to justify it, but sometimes they can be just loving curmudgeons. Like, I don't know. It's just what it is. Know that before buying an Arsenal, and accept it or don't, and that's fine. I don't think either of us are saying that Arsenals are the pinnacle of anything, but...
No, not at all. But it's an AK. And so far, what they have put out over the years has been really reliable AKs, in my experience. We're all humans. It's a manufacturer line. Things happen.
Yep.
And
especially after 2020, 2021,
look
that long respite didn't do any favors
Not
for
at all.
manufacturing lines.
Not at all. And you're short staffed. The ones that are there are overworked. And again, these aren't excuses.
No.
All these guns cost a lot of money, but this day and age, we're really lucky to still get imported AKs, and most importantly, usually pretty reliable imported AKs. But
yeah, I mean, that's
for a company to come out and admit, hey, look, there's an issue, send it in. It may take 3, 4, 6 months to get it back. It may take a week to get it back. I don't know, but at least there's something going forward with, hey, yeah, send it back to us. I mean, we knew that going in with this.
And I told my Arsenal rep before he went out, I said, if we break the gun, he's like, well, if you break the gun, send it back, we'll take care of it. So that's what I was told. So I was fully expecting to maybe have to do that.
No, that's for the last few days I've been considering, man, we're going to break an Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I'd make kind of a cool video because it's something we never have done before. And especially with all the talk, it really did sound like I was lucky owning a 2020 and that, okay, all the 2021s are defective.
Yeah, for sure. Over the last 24 hours, I've really been thinking, man, what's it going to be like to break a SAM5 on camera?
Or get part of the bolt in your face. Yeah, no.
At one point, I never felt like that was going to happen, though.
No, it never
not
really
at all.
Kicked or
there was nothing weird about it, no.
No, and the dust cover didn't get overly rattly or...
Nothing became loose on this gun any more
than it was.
I mean, there's not a thing on this gun that I would be afraid to pick this up and go put another 500 rounds through it.
Typically what I've noticed on overgas guns is sometimes the dust covers get binged up, or a lot of times the buttstocks get loose. Have you noticed that?
Oh, it's happened to us a few times.
Yeah, the stocks kind of work themselves loose and that stock is tight. Now, it is a double tang, but yeah, there you go. But I will, do the paperwork and leave this with you, and, we'll report back when he hits 1,000 or 1,500 rounds. I also left you with extra ammo to run through it. So
yeah, I've got 1,000 rounds. You've got 500. So no excuse over the next month or two, and let time go on.
And like I said, nice day. You'll group it. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
Good data point.
I just bought a new table range, whatever.
Yeah. Steel targets.
Yeah. Got steel targets in, so you guys can hear that we're actually hitting stuff at 300 yards.
And I can still keep putting rounds through my 2020. I mean, these are very fun guns. Simple, basic, milled AKs.
No, it's not like it's throwing your shoulder out and you're tired after 200 rounds. I mean, in fact, we were just talking about that earlier. A certain other gun that won't be named felt harder to shoot 100 rounds through than that did 500. Yeah, that's a whole other video, guys. See you next time.
Yeah. But with that, it has been a long day. Again, if you've had a different experience, let us know. If you've shot your SAM5, please do post pictures, whatever. It's definitely happening. The problem is it's hard to predict which guns might have the gremlin. I guess we can start calling it that. Because it does seem like it is like a gremlin. Some will have it, some won't. And by the way, arsenals aren't really sequential. Like, you can't say that serial number 001 came before 002. They kind of do batch processing and somewhat randomized numbering, so we can't really... All the serial number really tells us is the year. 60 means... So
there's not a way to say, batch 60 through 70, this is it. Right.
Yeah, I mean, 60 means 2020, 61, 2021, 62, 2022. Exactly. We can tell you that.
But we can't come down with this group 1 through 20 and
I've seen some people say, like, well, prefix... BE or AH or whatever. I haven't noticed any correlation there either.
Now, excuse me for just an uneducated question, but if you do think there is a fix to this and still keep this particular gun, what would the fix be?
You mean if that gun had the overgassing?
Or just any of these. I mean, what's really the fix for that exact gun? Would you just have to...
There's not really a good fix. If, in fact, it is an overboard gas port, the fix would be a new barrel, and that's usually a lot more work than people really want to do. I mean, it's a press and pin gun, so for a big outfit, it's not such a big change. But I would imagine that a company would just send a new gun, because at that point you've already got wear on the back of your receiver and your bolt. So you need to replace.
You're basically rebuilding the whole gun.
Yeah, receiver, bolt carrier, maybe barrel.
Mm-hmm.
To replace the gun. That's AKs for you. There, I mean, the AK was always designed to be, I don't want to say disposable, but it wasn't. It was designed to be used until a major part broke and then chunked in the corner to be scavenged for parts for other guns. It wasn't meant to be repair for 100 years.
It makes total sense.
So yeah, any questions or comments or theories, please do post them. Any testimonials for other people that have done a little bit of round count, we'd love to hear them. And I guess the good news is, since our last video, Arsenal has accepted there's a problem and admitted to it, which means they have no excuse not to honor the warranty if your gun is turning itself into butter. I don't know. But sadly, for entertainment purposes, our day was just as you saw it. A little bit of, frankly, honest wear, a little bit of dimpling of the bolt tail, but it did not seem to get worse between 300 and 500 rounds.
Nope.
And the wear on the back of the receiver doesn't seem egregious.
Nothing alarming.
Nope, not so far, anywho. But we'll do an update in a few months, probably early summer, late spring, whenever we cross over 1,000 rounds. But truth is, we've now taken the SAM5 out twice in a month, and both times we put several hundred rounds, and we've never had a failure with either gun as far as reliability. So
maybe we'll even get a little more rougher with it once we get past the initial.
You're waiting for like rainy season. You want to take it through a creek.
You already know.
Yep.
Knock
yourself out.
We're gonna take it through a creek bed.
Alrighty, folks. We've had a long day, so we'll let you go. But if you could, as always, please do like, share, subscribe. You know the rigmarole. But if you could, also check out the link to the Patreon. $1 a month does a whole lot of good.
Yes, it does.
More ammo and Q&As and stuff. So we'll go from there. Any final thoughts?
No, not really. Just subscribe, share. We're testing guns you guys are chattering about, so that's what it's all about.
Trying to do her. Alrighty, folks. This is Misha.
This is Fox.
Catch you very soon. Next time. Now he's going to run to the camera. We need a remote.
Yeah, we do.